Trustee Dolton, absent. Trustee Steve.
Present.
Trustee House.
Present.
Trustee Brown.
Present.
Trustee Holmes, absent. Trustee Henyard. We have a quorum.
Okay, we have a quorum. Let the record reflect it is 5:48. Notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given that pursuant to section 8-2-9 of the Illinois Municipal Code, the mayor and the board of trustees of the village of Dolton, Cook County, Illinois, will hold a public hearing at 5:30 p.m. on July 29, 2019 at the Dolton Village Hall, 14122. Let's make an amendment here. King Drive, Dolton, Illinois. Let's make an amendment to reflect the deletion of Chicago Road. To consider the appropriation ordinance / budget ordinance for the fiscal year commencing May 1, 2019 and ending April 30th, 2020. Members of the public will be allowed to comment on the proposed ordinance at the public hearing. A copy of the draft appropriation ordinance is available for viewing in the office of the village clerk, Village of Dolton, by Mary Kay Dugan. Village clerk published July and posted July 19, 2019.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this notice pursuant to statute was also published in the Daily Southtown on July 19th.
Okay. There are no members of the public here. I'd like to adjourn this meeting, and at 6 p.m. we will go into the special meeting. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Need a second?
Second.
It's been motioned to by Trustee House and seconded by Trustee Brown to adjourn this meeting. Roll call. Any discussion? No discussion. Roll call.
Trustee Steve.
Aye.
Trustee House.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. Motion carries.
5:50 p.m.
Yes.
You just fade down to lobster, fade down to
like to call to order the special meeting for Monday, July 29th, 2019. Let the record reflect it is 6:12. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll?
Trustee Denton? Absent Trustee Steve?
Present.
Trustee House?
Present.
Trustee Brown?
Present.
Trustee Holmes? Trustee Henry?
Present.
We have a quorum. 5 members of the board is here, along with our village attorney and village clerk. Okay, notice is hereby given that at the call of Mayor Riley Rogers and the Village of Dolton Board of Trustees, there will be a special meeting held at the new Village Hall. Let the record reflect we want to amend this address from 14122 Chicago Road to reflect the new designation for Chicago Road as King Drive. 14122 King Drive, Dolton, Illinois, on today, not Thursday. Also, let's make the amendment of Thursday to Monday,
Oh, my error. Oops, okay.
July 29th at 6 p.m. On the agenda tonight, we have a spot for citizens' address, which is limited to the business of the special meeting. There is no one here for citizens' address. And the next thing on the agenda is old business, the adopting of appropriation of budget ordinance for fiscal year 2019, 2020, ordinance number 19-017. Can I get a motion for the adoption of appropriation of the budget ordinance?
Motion to adopt the budget ordinance appropriation.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned by Trustee House and seconded by Trustee Steve for the adoption of the budget ordinance for fiscal year 2019, 2020. Any discussion? No discussion? Yeah, go ahead. Trustee Henry.
Thank you. I guess you may direct it to John.
Pardon me?
You may direct it to
Yeah, if you,
you
it depending on what the question is.
Cut your mic on.
It's on.
Okay.
Okay, one of my questions is in regards to the overweights. It was 150 last year. It was 150,000. I don't have the budget when you had the actual amount. And it was
Pardon me? Why don't you come up, John, up here? Chris, okay.
Be careful now.
Yeah.
Okay, for overweights, 150. So you guys are saying we're gonna collect 300,000 this year?
You're talking about account 0100354, right?
Yes.
I have it budgeted at 150.
Okay.
Unless something that's the final I've got on the file. I've got 150,000.
Okay, so what was it?
It's a new revenue stream.
Well, we did collect last year. Do you know what that amount was?
Last year, based on what I see, it was $3,700. But it's also possible that some of the overweight revenue could be charged to a different account that we haven't found where it was posted, so we have to journal entries to move it if the board would like that.
Okay, so if it was only 3,700, how did we get to a whole 150,000? Why do you feel we're gonna make that kind of money?
Because we're expecting that with the new process, the new direction the board would like, that you guys are going to achieve that money. You're going to make 150,000.
By doing what?
Now, does the 3,700 reflect what we got back from the court? Because I know we wrote more than $3,700 worth of tickets.
I'd have to look be sure. It also depends on you could have wrote more, and just when it was collected, it was charged to the wrong revenue stream.
Okay.
That is a possibility.
Okay. I know for a fact they wrote more than 3,700, but this may reflect what the court has given us back after the cases were adjudicated. John?
Yeah, that's true, and
Come on,
also,
put your mic.
that's true, and also the direction of the department that you're gonna go hard on overweights.
Right. I've had talks with the chief. We plan on putting in a overweight division, if you will. That 150,000 over 1 year's time is nothing in regards to the amount of revenue that can be collected in overweights.
Okay, so we're gonna basically have 2 officers that's gonna do the overweight, so we should bring in 150,000 plus cover their salary with that? Is that the plan?
The, what I'd like to see is a commander and 2 officers. It's nothing to get a truck with a $10,000 overweight fine. I'm hoping that we exceed the $150,000. We have 2 scales that cost us $40,000. They haven't been actively used, along with 2 locations in the village that our officers can take truck to be weighed. And I know for a fact the $150,000 revenue figure could be realistic.
Okay, my next question, the business license. Last year we collected 14,000. The year before 105. This year 270.
That's in part due to the raise in the fee, but the 14,000 from last year, that's also the same thing where it may have been posted to the wrong account line. So we have to find where it was actually posted and then do journal entries to move it from there to the proper account.
So you saying the accounting was wrong?
It was when the payments were taken in, they coded it to the wrong line item. So let's say they took it in for business license, instead they put it in as permits. I'm just throwing 2 different accounts out there. So that's why it looks so low.
So you doubled it a little bit. So you're saying we're gonna bring in 270
Yep,
because of the increase?
the increase in fee, yes, in part.
And the proper coding.
So
The-
this time, we're gonna put it in the right account?
And so long I don't put it, that's all when the payments come in. So long as they put it in, when they collect the payments to the proper account, yes.
And I've had discussion with the people of the water department that's in charge, that the cashiers need to be updated and advised on the proper accounts where those monies should go.
Okay, do we have that in place? Because I know we've been having a problem with locusts. So did we get anything straightened out so that all the money go in the right accounts?
For the money to go to the right account, it's just that when they select whatever item, let's say it's a business license, whoever, they have to note that it's supposed to be coded to a business license and not permits. It also depends on, for some, they may not know what it is based on the check that comes in.
And some of that fund, some of those payments went into miscellaneous, and that weren't identified in the proper categories or proper coded. So they're gonna do a better job on doing that, make sure that money goes to the right place.
Okay.
Plus, there's gonna be reconciliation by you guys to try to make sure it's in the right place too.
Okay, can we do training for water department? We definitely need training over there.
We talked about that. That's gonna happen.
Is that what, okay.
Yeah, we
Is it
talked.
budgeted for though?
No, they don't. It's all in days' work. Yeah, it can be OJT, on the job training. It doesn't have to be.
I know, so you're gonna bring somebody in to train. I'm only saying, I know it's on the job, but we don't have anybody that's been there for years to train them. So that's what I'm saying, who's gonna come in and train them?
We have the proper people in place to train them. It just wasn't done. We have Derek here. We have Sonia is kind of taking a big role in the water department now. And what's our
Isn't Derek
our program?
T.I.?
People.
Yes?
Locust. You know, I forgot the guy's name from Locust. Frank. With those 3 people, the people that's working in the water department now should be properly trained and make sure that those funds that are getting paid are properly coded. Now, there's going to be probably a few mistakes, but they're not going to be to the extent where they were done before. That's why we're putting the proper. That's why we're adding these monies to those proper line items.
Okay, so something to consider, maybe, don't you know how people send other employees to another city, for instance, say Cayman City as an example, and that might get training from them in their department?
Yeah, but everyone doesn't have our program, our same program. And this is the in-house era. This is in-house. This can be done very, very easily in-house.
So you feel with the people we have that they don't get the proper training?
Well, no, they're going to have the proper training, but it can be done in-house. It's just like a cash register. You're hitting the wrong button. They're going to be taught to hit the right button.
Right.
And what happens is sometimes when a payment is made and that cashier doesn't know where to put it, they put it in miscellaneous. They just put it in miscellaneous, they collect and put it in miscellaneous. So we're gonna make sure that they, what we thought about doing is also coding, giving each payment a code. For example, when the stickers, and it's gonna have to be in the future, when those invoices come in for the sticker, or the billing comes in for the sticker, it will have the code on that paper.
Right, it'd be code
So you,
two-faced.
yeah, it could be code 06 or 07. So it'll be very simple for a person on the cashier to be able to, okay, this billing is code 6, all you gotta do is punch code 6, which would eliminate a lot of the mistakes that are being made. So we can do that with water bills, stickers, permits, licensing, and you know, as we go forward with the proper training over there, when we ask to get documents printed, those documents would have that code right on that document. So it'll be very simple for a person in the payment center, I want to say, not just the water department, to put those in the proper.
Okay, so
May-
it's,
Yes, go ahead.
If I could be recognized, one other catch for us too is of course the monthly financial reporting, because we'll see if we budgeted for 270,000. When we get next month's budget or results, we'll be 3 months into the year. So if we look up and see $3,000 and we were budgeted for 270, it'll flag us that something's wrong, and we can kind of dig into it as well. So that's another way to kind of oversee it. I mean, it could be seasonality, because I know business licenses are one time a year, but on most things it'll be kind of linear, where month after month we should see growth.
And one of the other things where I like to go with this is barcoding and scanning. So our billing that goes out on the water bills, goes out on licensing, permits, other licensing, we put barcodes on them, and then we all they have to do is scan it at the water department. It would actually go into the proper, it would be actually allocated to the proper accounts. So that's in the future, and we have to, do a little research with that, but I think we can get up to par on that by next year.
okay, my next question, customer service. What are we doing for training for customer service?
We talked about customer service. As you know, last year, I think every employee went out for customer service training. That's another issue that is going to have to be addressed in the water department and in the payment center, and it will be addressed. And we can put some funding in for customer service training, not just in the payment center, but all departments.
Do we have it funded now? Did we put funding to the side for it?
I'm not sure if we did or not.
Do you know?
Not that I know off the top of my, not that I know of, but so long as your expenses are within reason, there is a little bit of wiggle room for if that becomes a necessity.
Can we add that to this budget? Put money to the side for customer service training?
If I can chime in too, I think some of the departments I did see, like police, I saw some trainings, and I think I saw fire had some trainings. So it looked like it was department by department. So if there's some department we want to emphasize,
Water.
I recall seeing it in police and fire. I don't know if I recall seeing it in any other departments, but if there's some that we see that we want to emphasize, then I would say let's look to those. Like you say, the water department, I don't know that there's anything in that department for budget for training, but if we want to emphasize that, we definitely should do it.
There actually is 2,000 for training in the water department.
Is that enough, Mayor?
How much is it?
2,000?
Yeah, we didn't spend much last year when we sent the employees for training. Matter of fact, there was 2 training sessions. One didn't cost us anything. There was one that cost us, I think it was $100 employee or something like that.
Last
So-
year's training was $825.
Yeah, so it was a small amount,
Well,
and everybody went.
right. Well, we need to either increase it or look into it, because obviously it didn't work.
Well,
So we need to get better at that.
we've made some changes in employees too. So I think 2,000 would be sufficient, and just like they said, there's some wiggle room here if we need to add another 1,000, whatever, something like that. But I really wouldn't want to increase that item right now. and throw our budget out of whack a little bit. But if need be, like you said, there's a little wiggle room there, and we can afford to get it done.
Okay, my next question is, the bank fees. We had 80K for the credit card. Can we follow basically what Cook County does and either charge the credit card fee to the employee, the resident or the person that's using the credit card? Because most people just basically send the fee to whoever's using the card compared to us eating the fee. That will help us save money as well.
We talked about that. We talked about renegotiating our contract with the processing company, because since we went to no cash, there's going to be multiple additional transactions, and I think that just like you said, we should be part of that resource for getting the revenue. So that's in the works.
So basically change the fees to the resident, correct?
Well, I wouldn't say that. There's a number of payment solutions out there that offer different what's the word I'm trying to come up with? Pricing structures and awards to their clients, and we're actually the client on the payment processing there. So that's already in the works. We're looking to renegotiate their contract.
Okay, my next question is in regards to housing. Everybody up here know that I would like to incorporate Block by Block, which is a housing program that I initiated. Got the votes for it, it passed, and then of course, then it fell after that when the board voted it down. So currently now I see that it is $100,000 in the budget for housing, and I would like to initiate that program as well. So I just want to make sure that the $100,000 is being used towards Block by Block as well, or do I need to allocate money for Block by Block?
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm not sure what the $100,000 was put in there for, but there is no Block by Block program is in regards to the way the board voted. So we don't normally put items in a line item and fund that line item when there's no ordinance to substantiate it.
It's not so much of that, Mayor. I'm gonna put it on the next agenda, Block by Block. But what I'm saying to you is that I would like to get rid of our vacant properties here in the village of Dolton. So I want to initiate a housing program to do so. So I'm just making sure we have money allocated for it.
Well, there's, like I said, again, there's no ordinance in place or nothing in place to fund that. And as it was suggested last time, when that ordinance failed, that it would go to Housing Committee, and we have a trustee over that Housing Committee. I would suggest that you work with that trustee and try to figure out something if you want something in place. But
Mayor?
Right now, and trustee, there was a finance committee where all of these things were gone over. That I know you came later, but all these items and these questions that you're talking about were discussed, and that's how we came up with these final numbers for today's meeting and to do the passing of this appropriation.
Okay, Mayor, two things. I came to the Finance Committee meeting. I spoke about Block by Block as well, and Trustee House advised me to come here and speak about it here. That's why I was real short up there when y'all had y'all finance meeting. That's number one. Number two, while we're here, this is discussion. You're supposed to discuss what you feel or what you want to change and let the board hear it, and then we figure out what we want to do. Yes, everybody know that I want to initiate Block by Block. I'm still on that. Third, I sent emails to Trustee Brown regarding housing meetings. She have not had a housing meeting. I've been trying to advocate for that forever, and still we haven't had one. So how can I initiate anything or do anything dealing with Block by Block if there's no meeting structure at all?
Mayor, can I speak?
You sure can, but okay. I'm just going to say there is no Block by Block program. just as you're a seasoned trustee, you've been here for a number of years, you know it either passes or it doesn't pass. And in this case, it did not pass. So I'm not sure what Trustee House allocated $100,000, but there are certain things that's going to happen in the housing department where you do need funding. But as of today, there is no ordinance in place for block by block.
Mayor, I got
If I
that.
can-
I understand
Okay.
there's no ordinance in place. I'm just making sure the funds is there, so when we talk about whatever housing program we're going to initiate, that there's funds in the budget to do so. But my question to you is this: so why do it say somebody gonna get 25% for each house sold? Is that what this stating on this
Well,
budget?
First of all, I'm going to acknowledge Trustee Brown. She had a response.
I responded to Trustee Henyard, and my response was, when we get the proper information as to how many houses the village actually owns, we can't put a program in place if we really don't know what we own yet. And from my understanding, with BP Capital, is more houses that were taken than we actually were told in the beginning. So just trying to get a number as to what we really own first before we can put something in place. But definitely would like to work with you once we find out that information.
Okay.
And I'm going to remind you, Trustee, when you were over the Housing Committee, you held the meetings at your leisure and at your availability. So there's really no certain set date. There has to be a Housing Committee meeting. It's at the discretion of the Housing Chair, which is Trustee Brown.
Okay.
Trustee
Mayor.
House, did you have something you said?
Please. I want to speak to the 100,000 that's in there is the initiative that we spoke of with the mayor to acquire the titles to the property, and then the village would sell it off, and that's where the 400,000 in revenue. However, as I talked with Trustee Henyard, currently the village would be going after the property, so that's what the 100,000 is allocated for. My suggestion was put block by block up there. If it gets voted to approved, the village will already acquire the properties. So there's no additional budget reason to add more funds. If block by block is not approved, the 100,000 will remain on the line for the program that the mayor has looked to initiate. So that's not a separate fund. However, there is money available because in either case, the village will be obtaining the properties.
Okay.
Trustee, is there a
Couple
separate
things.
line item that you're referring to for the $100,000?
There is a separate line item. If you'll give me a moment, I can look it up. But the 100,000 is for. You have it, Chris.
It's 01-43-549. I'm thinking that's the one you guys are talking about, that line item.
17.
Page?
01-43-549, page 14. I think that's the line you guys are talking about.
Okay, Mayor, a couple things, and to Trustee Brown. Trustee Brown did send me an email, but it did not say exactly what she just stated. All it stated was that she was waiting on, I guess, Sandra in housing to get back with her on information. That's it. I sent her several other emails after that, and I told her there's other things dealing with housing that we can talk about. And it went nowhere. We didn't have a meeting. It's not that I'm trying to force her to have a meeting. She just became the chairperson. I'm trying to tell her that we can be doing other things in housing. That way we can continue to move forward. That's it. There's no fight. You make everything a fight.
I'm not here to be a referee about who sent what
I'm not,
and
but
who
I'm
got
just
what
clearing it
and
up.
what you
I'm
said and
clearing it up
everything.
so you understand
So-
how the email went.
Okay.
Mayor, all I
That's
want to
fine.
do is work
That's-
with everybody
that's-
up here.
that's
I
fine.
want everybody to hear what I have to say,
Okay.
and like I listen to what everybody up here has to say.
Right.
That's it.
Okay, let's move on. Anything else?
So, for clarity, the 100,000 is allocated for vacant properties here in Dolton, correct?
The 100,000 is for the village to obtain the properties, and at the moment, the village would obtain them and be responsible for the rejuvenation and the sale of the property.
Okay, so it can go towards any program.
Any approved program.
Right.
Did you say titles or deeds or property itself? Because you-
Obtain the property.
Okay.
Okay, anything else? Any other?
My other question was it 25% allocated towards the sale of any house?
Yes, the revenue, village anticipated 400,000 in revenue, and the cost to sell those properties, 100,000.
So you're allocating 25% or whatever the sale of that house is to a realtor, or what do you mean? Explain.
We estimate that you guys are gonna sell the properties, your vacant properties, whatever the number of properties, you estimate 400,000 is what you're gonna sell this fiscal year. The cost to sell those properties and renovate them and get them into sellable form is 100,000 is what we're estimating.
Yeah. Well, that wouldn't be the total cost of a rehab or anything. More or less the processing fee. There'll be attorney fees that'll be generated to sell. There'll be realtors fees that'll be generated to sell. So that's basically a low number in regards to being able to extinguish those properties.
So it seems as though, is it a program that you have, Mayor? Because your program wasn't voted on either.
There is no
But you're
program.
speaking, no, I'm saying because you're speaking as though if we sell these houses or we do this, what's the structure for housing?
What do you mean? What's the structure?
What is the village plan to do with the vacant property? Just to obtain them, and then what? We're going to
Sell
structure
them.
a program.
Sell them.
I know, but we're going to structure a program to do it. So you're saying we're going to do them in-house?
We're going to do it in-house. Yes, there is no program that we have to structure. We're
Okay,
gonna,
so the board agreed that we're going to do all the houses in-house. We had no housing meeting about this. This is the first time hearing about this, so that's why I'm constantly pushing block by block.
You were involved in several board meetings where I mentioned the fact that why are we giving these houses a BP capital and not getting any revenue, where we can actually be the BP capital and sell these houses and we get the revenue.
Okay.
Same.
Right, you mentioned it just like I mentioned block by block, but what I'm saying is that nothing was voted on which program we're going to go with.
There is no program.
Or why can't we do both? So you're basically saying you want the village to take over the vacant
Trustee,
properties
listen,
and
trustee,
fix them.
That's not up tonight. We're talking about budget appropriation. Let's keep it at
Let me just
that.
finish my statement. You want us to fix the properties, the village. So we got to hire contractors. We have to get a realtor to sell the house. So basically, again, that's another management issue.
Trustee, that can be discussed in the housing committee meeting.
We don't have one, so that's why I'm discussing it here, Mayor.
Well, we're not going to discuss it here. We're going to move on with this budget, and we're going to stay on proper course what this meeting was called for.
That's in the budget. That's what
Okay.
I'm talking about. It's
Yeah.
the money
That's
that's
not in the
allocated
budget.
in the budget. It
Okay.
is.
Is there any more items that you want?
Yes, it is. I got a
Okay.
bunch of stuff.
Go ahead and talk about it.
Melody Fitness.
What about it?
What are we doing with Melody Fitness? I know a couple times we was told to sell Melody Fitness. So what are we doing with it?
We're keeping it, and it's going to be under Trustee Steve's, is going to be the chair of that committee, and we're going to monitor it. And if we can turn it around, we're going to monitor it for each quarter. And if we're heading in the right direction in regards to new additional members and gaining revenue, then we're going to keep it. It's
Okay.
going to be evaluated every quarter in the direction that it's going.
Okay, so is there money allocated for Melody Fitness to put into it? How much? Can you tell me how much?
May I be recognized?
Go
I'm
ahead,
talking to
trustee.
him.
No, it's on the
I
budget.
know. I want everything for the record.
I mean, it's
Everything
right
is,
here. Look at
is
it.
on the record. It's
Okay,
on-
y'all told me to ask my questions. Can I ask the man the question? What's the
trust-
Any
problem?
more?
Sure. How many more questions do you have, trustee?
This
May I be-
called discussion, right?
How many
May I be
more questions do you have, trustee?
20 more.
20 more?
Yes.
I'm not sure if we're going to answer all 20.
May I be recognized?
Go ahead, trustee Steve.
I'm over at Melanie Fitness. I understand you asking questions, but I like the questions I had about this budget. I sat down with the finance chair and the mayor, and I asked my questions. If you got a question about Melanie Fitness, you can always ask me. I guess you have to wait till the cameras are here and everybody's here and there's a public discussion. That's fine. You know what I mean? But if you look at the budget and the money allocated towards Melanie Fitness, it hasn't changed. So the money's there. The answer to your question is in the budget. All you got to do is look at it.
Okay. You a new trustee. I'm seasoned. I've been on this board forever. So, cool. Chill out. I can ask whatever I want to ask.
No, that's not true.
I can,
That's
Mayor.
not true.
You
And-
said, thank you. How much is it for Melly's Fitness?
We estimate 58,000 in revenue and 439,000 in change in expenses for a loss of 381,000.
So why would we keep that?
You kept it all along when you were head of the
No,
board.
we've been talking about it for a minute. If you recall, me and Trustee House had a realtor to come out to basically list that property, once again, to sell that property because it was draining us.
You wanted to give it away.
Also, we got an audit
Remember?
done, and they said to sell it, like they told us for the Dorchester mayor. You know this.
Yeah.
Everybody up here know this, so I don't understand why we
When I
would
came
dump
into
more money
office, when I came into
into it.
office and they
Mayor, you
advised us
asking
to
me, let me
sell the
finish.
Dorchester, you voted against it.
Mayor, no, I did not.
You did.
No, I did
We
not.
can pull the records. We got it.
Go
on
right
record.
ahead, please do.
Can I answer
Let's
that
go back
question?
on topic. What I'm saying is, we should sell the Melody or partner with the
That's
park.
not a question.
Or partner with
That's
the
not a
park, like
question.
we talked
What's your
about
next
before.
question?
So
What's
that's
your
why I
next
don't understand why they allocated money for it.
Trustee,
That's
what's
why
your
I'm
next question?
I'm asking him, I'm talking to him.
What's your
If
next
you would let
question?
me. I don't think we should keep the Melody. We
That's-
should do what we was talking
fine,
about
that's your
before the new
opinion.
board came in, because it's draining us. We got maybe 10,
That's-
15
that's your-
members.
that's your
if that.
prerogative.
And all we doing is dumping money.
Next
and
question,
money
please.
and money. It's not worth it. So I think the board should reconsider the Melly Fitness.
Next question,
And we should go
please.
back in closed session and talk about either selling it or partnering with the park like we did before. That's what we should be doing. Why is the budget in a surplus? That's for you.
In the surplus.
Confused by the question.
Okay, we was in a deficit forever.
Yes.
So how all of a sudden we have money?
In part because of the fees you guys are all raising, in part because of we're allocating a lot of expenses that were being eaten by the general fund. There are truly water expenses we are allocating to the water fund and sewer fund. That is part of why you guys are seeing a surplus in your general fund.
So you feel we have a surplus, but we just took out a bond for 1.4 million for the garbage, but we got a surplus.
Yes, you have, what was happening before is all of the expenses that were general fund, that were water and sewer related, were all being charged and paid for by the general fund. Since all those expenses were being paid for by the general fund, it was decreasing the general funds, giving it a loss.
If I may add to that note, the bond was also included in the revenue, so that's part of why. If we took the bond out of the revenue section, we would be showing a deficit of approximately 900,000. So if we do not renew that bond, and when it comes up again, we will be at a deficit of about 900,000, and it will make us very tight fiscally.
Okay, that's it.
Question, and that's the homeward disposable bond? Trustee House? Okay.
No further discussion. Can we vote on this? Can we get a motion to adjourn?
No, we need to vote first.
Okay, we got to vote the ordinance. I'm sorry. Madam Clerk,
May I be recognized, Mayor?
go ahead, trustee.
I just want to say that, yeah, the Melanie Fitness is draining us now, but it's our fitness center. And there's a lot of people here in the village who depend on it. So we're going to have an aggressive plan to move forward because it was so neglected and so caught up in, we was given misinformation by previous board members. We wasted money on stuff that didn't have to be done because of personal vendettas. So now that that's out the way, we have an aggressive plan and a plan to really save it and put it back so it's profitable for the village. So we're going to move forward with that plan, and you will be hearing about that plan very shortly.
Okay.
On the motion to approve ordinance number 19-017, adopting an appropriation and budget ordinance for fiscal year 2019-2020. Trustee Denton is absent. Trustee Steve.
Aye.
Trustee House.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Holmes.
Aye.
Trustee Henyard.
No.
Motion carries. 4 ayes and 1 nay. I'd like to get a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, yeah, for the record, let it reflect that we had a short executive session before our special meeting. Now, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
A second.
Second.
It's been motion to adjourn by trustee House, seconded by trustee Steve. Roll call.
Trustee Denton absent. Trustee Steve.
Aye.
Trustee House.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Holmes.
Aye.
Trustee Henyard.
Aye.
Motion carries. This meeting is adjourned.